Are you looking for a simple, quick way to create no-content book interiors? Is it possible to create multiple different interior designs from a single template? Hi, I'm Samantha, the Get It Done Girl. Welcome to part 3 of a 3-part series on Amazon KDP no-content book publishing. If you haven't seen my other 2 videos, in part 1 and 2 respectively, I demonstrated how you can create a no-content book interior and its cover. To wrap things up, I'm going to show you how easy it is to create multiple no-content book interiors using the template made in part 1. Let's get into it. On my screen is a template created in part 1. The trim size is 6 by 9 inches with a bleed of 0.125 inches and no margins. College ruled line spacing is used and all the lines extend beyond the page. From this template, I'm going to modify the elements of the master page to create 3 different interior designs which can be sold as a journal, notebook, or diary. The first design will maintain the straight lines but will be assigned a gutter and outer margins. In essence, the lines will no longer span across the page but will be restricted or confined within the inner and outer margins. To maintain the template's bleed, I will add a front page with a simple design. This way, I'll not need to adjust the size of the book. Since there are no margins visible on my page, that's the first order of business. To create the margins, click the Spread Setup tab and locate Margins. My inner margin or gutter will be set to 0.375 inches and my outer margins will be assigned to 0.25. To make the margins visible, click the View tab and then select Show Margins. Now that my margins are visible, I'm going to scale the lines so that they align with the margins. To do this, I will need to edit the master page so that it's reflected throughout the document. I'm going to press Ctrl+A to select all the lines on the page and then drag the lines inward. As you can see, all the changes made on my master page is now reflected in the entire document. The next step is to create a simple front page where the owner of the journal can add their name. For this process, I downloaded an image that will be used in the front page's design, so I'm just going to go ahead and place it on the page. Before aligning my border, what I'm going to do is to remove the effects of the master page from the front page. And I'm going to do this by clicking on page 1 and right-clicking on my mouse and clear masters. As you can see, the lines have disappeared, so whatever is done to the master page 1 in the future will not affect page 1. So what I'm going to do is align my lines on the page so it forms a border. When designing no content books, it's best to keep the elements in shades of black and white. So I'm going to change the color of my border. To do this, I'm going to select the Layer tab, click Adjust Layer and choose Black and White. You can adjust the presets as you see fit, depending on what shade you want to apply. I'm also going to add a label and a straight line below. This gives the owner of the journal an opportunity to write their name. This journal belongs to, let me change the size of this font. I'm also going to change the type of font. I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to draw 2 lines. There it is. This is my front page. What I'm going to do is to adjust the border so that it aligns properly. This looks pretty good. I will leave it as is. So what I'm going to do is to export this as a PDF to see how the final interior design looks. The DPI is set to 72. For Amazon, 300 and above is always ideal. So I'm going to change this to 300. I'm going to include bleed and I'm going to export. So now that my file is done converting, I am going to locate it on my desktop and we're going to look at it. Let's zoom out and see what it looks like at 50%. So this is the interior of my journal. This is the very first page. And this is what the lines look like. It now has a margin, and because I added the front page, and extended the images across the page, I was able to maintain my bleed. I did not have to change the size of the book. So this can be published as is. Let's move into our second design. Let's head back over to Affinity Publisher. The interior of this journal for our second design will change from a straight line to a dashed line journal. In Affinity Publisher, this is achievable by changing the style of the stroke. So the first step is to locate the stroke feature. I normally keep mine on the upper right hand corner for quick access. If this feature isn't visible, click the View tab and locate Studio and Stroke. So you would ensure that there is a tick right beside the stroke feature. Since mine is already enabled, I am just going to leave it as is, and this is where it is located on my panel. Once the stroke feature or element is accessible, ensure that you've selected your master page. Remember, whatever is done on the master page will affect all the other pages once the master page has been applied to those pages. So what I'm going to do is to hit Ctrl+A to highlight all the lines on my screen, and I'm going to go back to stroke, and I am going to select the dash line style. I'm going to click this option, and immediately the lines change on the page, as you can see. But we really do not want to leave this as is, so I'm going to re-highlight the lines, and I'm going to go back to the stroke section, and I'm going to scroll down to where dash is, and I'm going to change 1 to 2 across the board. Now, as you can see, this looks a lot different. So let's go down to the rest of my pages to see if the changes have been effected. So I'm going to export this to a PDF, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like. It's the same process: export, PDF, 300, include bleed, export. I'm going to let this run its course off camera, since in some cases it can take a while before the process completes. So see you back. So the conversion is complete, so I'm just going to open the file. Let's zoom out. And as you can see, the lines have changed. So our first and second designs were successful. Let's move on to design number 3. Our third journal interior will maintain the dash line style, but more elements will be added to the page. In fact, we will need to create a second master page for this design. To do this, I'm going to go back to the master page panel and duplicate master A. Let's get it done. So this is my master page. I'm going to right click and select duplicate. As you can see, I now have 2 master pages, master page A and master page B. Let's start designing master A. I am going to remove some of the lines at the top, since this is where I'm going to be putting my inspirational quote and image. I'm also going to add a section where the date can be entered. So let's get to work. I am going to show grids so that I can accurately align the text and also additional lines on the page. I'm also going to enable the baseline grid. This will allow me to be more accurate. I'm going to put date. And I'm also going to change the font so that it matches the font on the front page. Now this is where I will put my quote, so I'm going to add a frame text tool and start typing. So my quote is, a caterpillar knows that its only way to take flight is through change. So this journal interior is going to be butterfly inspired or themed. So all the images and the quotes I'm going to add is going to be butterfly related. I'm going to drag this down so that the text is visible. No worries, we'll change this afterwards. To do this, I am going to select the paragraph leading and I'm going to change the spacing. I'm going to leave it to 7 points. I am also going to center this on the screen. Also going to remove another line. This further down. Remove this line, and I'm also going to place a butterfly. I've already downloaded an image that I will be using, and it is in my downloads folder. Oops, I'll be right back. My battery is running low. My apologies for the blunder. Things do happen. So now that my butterfly, my beautiful butterfly, has been placed on the screen, I am going to shrink it and find a location for it. So this is my butterfly, and let's zoom out to see what it looks like. And as I've mentioned earlier, I will need to add a black and white preset to this because I want to ensure that it's not in color. Now, if you leave this as is and select the black and white option when publishing on Amazon, Amazon will automatically print it in colors of black and white. But I like to change this on my own, so I'm going to go back to Layer, View Adjustment, and black and white. So I like this butterfly as is. I am going to leave it. As a caterpillar, let's spell this correctly. A caterpillar knows that its only way to take flight is through change. Beautiful. Now what I'm going to do is to move on to master B, because we also have to add a quote to this page and a butterfly. Instead of taking or removing lines from the top of my page, this time around I will be doing so from the bottom. So I'm just going to remove a few lines to add my quote and my butterfly. I'm also going to scale this line because I will be using it for the date as well. I'm just going to copy the date from this section to master B. Let's push this a bit higher. And let's go back to the bottom to add a quote. What I'm going to do is to copy the quote that I added in master A, and I'm going to paste it. I'm also going to change this quote to another one. This is going to be change may be uncomfortable, but the results are beautiful. Now I'm going to locate my second butterfly. Place. Where is it? Let's go again. Use this feature. All right, it should be this one. Beautiful. So this is my butterfly. I'm going to scale it. Let's switch places. I'm going to put this on the left and put this on the right. I'm also going to flush the text to the left. Yep, this looks good. As usual, I'm going to change the colored element to black and white. So this is my butterfly. I'm going to leave it as is. Now, the thing is, because I now have two master pages, I am going to have to apply both pages to the entire document, but not all at once. So what I'm going to do is to apply master A to odd pages and master B to even pages. So the best part about Affinity Publisher is it's quite easy to get this done. If this was being done in Canva, you would have a bit of a problem. It would take a longer time to do, but with just a few clicks, it can be done in Affinity Publisher. Let me show you how. What I'm going to do is I might have to copy and paste my front page because I might lose it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new file, and I'm going to change the dimensions to 6 by 9. And all I'm going to do is to copy what is on my front page to this page. So all I'm doing is I'm storing it here so that I can come back and I can apply it to my pages. So what I'm going to do now is to apply. What I'm going to do is to start applying the masters. So to master one, I'm going to apply page one, apply master, master A. But as you can see, master A, let's go back, master A has already been applied to the pages. So what I'm going to do is to change things up. So I'm going to apply it from page one instead of page two. Right click, apply master, master A, and I'm going to apply it to add pages. Let's go again, apply master A to add pages. Alright, let's do something else. So apply master, even pages B. And I'm going to always ensure that replace existing is selected because I want to remove everything that's already on that particular page and add something new. Alright, let's look at it. I'm not sure why this page has not changed, but maybe that's a good thing. So what I'm going to do is to scroll down and give you an idea of what's happening. So as you can see, on the first page, my quote has been applied. The second quote has been applied here. And as you go down further, you'll realize that it's aligned properly. So what I'm going to do is export this so that we can have a better look at it as a PDF. And I'm going to name it quotes. And it might take a while to export. So I'm going to go off camera and come back when it's done. Okay, so the third design has been exported. I'm going to access it on my desktop. Quotes. Let's open it. And let's zoom in as usual. As you can see, it has been beautifully applied to my pages. So guys, this is an awesome way to create multiple no content book interiors so that you can start publishing fast on Amazon to make money. If you enjoyed this video, if you have learned anything from it, please, it would be greatly appreciated if you could subscribe, like this video, or even share if you believe someone else could benefit from it.